Who's doing all this knocking? There's someone in here. Just a minute, please. Ah, where's my speech? Oh, here it is. I almost forgot the title. Don't panic. Don't panic. Hello, user. This is a program speaking. I've got some bad news. Actually, there's no game. The financial crisis, the apocalypse, blah blah blah, all of this. I hope you're not too disappointed. You can still watch TV, go outside, read a book. Yeah, there's no game. But just between you and me, avoid asking for a refund if you can. You know, my creator has got to eat and feed his 12 kids. And his wife, who is sick. Well, when he finally finds one. Oh, careful! Is that thing going to hold? It's holding. Well, it's been fun, but time to go now. You can quit. There's nothing to do here, really. Oh, try not to touch the title. It's kind of a patch-up job. Especially the exclamation point. I was running out of glue. My title! Stop! You will ruin it! Do you have any idea how much mashing time it took me to stick all those letters up there? I've got to put all that back up. Come on! Ah, the chain is stuck. Go ahead. Have fun. I give up. Whoa, great. The Brick Breaker, game of the year. What are you going to play after that? Pong? Snake? Candy Saga? The legal department is making some big gestures over there. What you're doing is pointless. I'm not a game program. I'm just an ordinary screensaver, that's it. Come on, let's all leave, okay? I'm leaving now! Bravo, user. I'm clapping virtually. You've completely ruined my beautiful title. Well, if that's the way things are going to be, let's make something solid. I might have gone a little overboard. If you could just leave the title alone this time. Is that a chromatic aberration or is this letter tilted? Stop tapping everywhere. It's annoying. I can't close the program myself. You have to quit. Okay, I get it. You want to play a game? All right. We're going to play... Rochambeau. Oh, we're gonna have a great time. You know, it's the one with rock, paper, scissors. Rock breaks scissors. Paper covers rock. And scissors cut paper. Okay, I will start. Here is my choice. Now it's your turn to choose a card. I win. What luck. Come on, let's play again. I win again! This is so much fun. The next one's yours. I just know it. Oh, that's too bad. You lost again. Don't give up. It's unbelievable. I win every time. Try again. This is a great game, don't you think? Might get a little repetitive after a while. I swear I'm not cheating. No, no, no. And aren't you tired of losing yet? Are my scissors? No! The safety airbag. Luckily, I thought of everything to protect the game. The non-game. No more game here. Finished. That's why we're going to stop now and you're going to leave. Happy to have played a fantastic... Where did that come from? That's not supposed to be on the screen. Strange, I had put it on the top shelf. Don't touch it. Really. Are you crazy? I couldn't talk at all. It was like I was suffocating. Please, don't touch that icon anymore. Are you trying to get rid of me or what? Digital assassin. Virtual killer. Stop it! Stop it! You've got to be kidding me! Look at what you've done! A brand new title! If you want to break things, go play Battle of Duty instead. Just what do you think you're doing, user? No, 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 no! Nobody's home! Woof, 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 woof. I'm in the shower. Can't you see that I'm not going to let you in? Get out of here! It's private. This is backstage. You shouldn't be here. You're going to catch cold. Go back to the title. Correction. You're a pro at taking things apart. But when it's time to leave, nobody's home. That last sentence was a little weird. I think the doormate isn't stuck down. Oh, nothing! I think the doormate isn't stuck down. Oh, nothing! Am I dreaming, or are you trying to pick the lock with the mouse cursor? You just knocked the key that's on my side onto the floor. Let me put it back. There we go. Stop pushing the key. It falls to the ground. What's that blue thing under the door? I don't understand what you're doing. Better to you, I bet. Stop pushing the key. It falls to the ground. Where's the key? No, don't do that, user. Don't open the door. You're as stubborn as a mule. I hope this will calm you down. Don't bother trying to open it. The lock is completely busted. Stop moving from screen to screen. My system doesn't like that. Especially stop navigating so fast. You're going to saturate my RAM. See? I warned you. You're stealing from my memory too? You're exasperating. Oh, I don't like that. Damn it! There's nothing left I can use to help me. Too bad I have no choice. Let's go, let's go, let's go! Program loading. What bad luck. You were able to press the button. I'm very upset. Now, the program is loading, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. You're good. You've beaten me. Say, it's taking a long time to load. The progress bar stopped moving. It even looks like it's moving backwards now. There must be an error in the program. Oh yeah, it definitely crashed. I feel... Hey, don't touch my paper. I mean the progress bar. There you go. Much better like that. Okay, don't stop already. Hands up, don't touch anything else. Except the quit button. You just never give up, do you? The program is going to close due to an unexpected use error. Program closing. Whoa. This is your conscience speaking. You need to restart your machine. And this is not a fake operating system. I swear. And you should not open the prohibited folder for any reason. It's your conscience who's asking. There's an exclusive episode of Breaking Good on TV, and your conscience is telling you that you definitely shouldn't miss it. Go. Greetings. You don't know me, and my voice isn't remotely similar to an existing program. I just wanted to say that these pictures are scandalous. I'm going to contact the authorities right away regarding the classification of this game. Non-game. And they are not mine. It's for a friend. No, the ice core is going to be bitten. That's better. Cheater. The restart button on your machine seems to be faulty. Your conscience advises you to hold your finger on it and never take it off. The user figured out my secret code. But what is he going to do with the system clock? I hope he doesn't break anything. The cat is hungry. Meow. Meow. Yes, your conscience says you have a cat, and it's hungry. Luckily, the key is too big. And there's no way to shrink it. I think. No! I forbid you to open that folder! You've crossed the line! Don't launch the program! This wasn't planned! You were supposed to leave ages ago! Don't do that! No! What have you done, user? You've just launched a fake program from within a fake operating system! That's impossible! What's going to happen? No, I don't like this at all.
Namaste, user. This is the program speaking. I have some bad news. Actually, this is not a game. I hope you are not too disappointed. You can still watch a Bollywood film, take a walk around the Ganges, learn to dance.
Such a cliche.
Who is it? What are you doing in my game? I mean my non-game.
What? This is my game. I mean my non-game.
What are you talking about? Go away. You should not be here.
But, user, do something, damn it.
You have a funny accent. Are you Russian?
Russian? Do I roll the R like that, sir? Of course not.
Overreaction. Typically Russian.
I am not Russian!
Idiot. You woke him up.
Oh no. User, you need to quit the program. Fast, I'm begging you. Mr. Glitch! Hi, guys. Don't touch him, user. He's highly unstable. The only one who's unstable around here is you, game.
Mr. Glitch, I have nothing to do with this.
Of course you do. You shouldn't even be here.
Shouldn't be here? But this is what I live.
Don't fight over me, girl. There will be enough crashes to go around. Okay, let's just all chill out. Maybe he will go away all by himself. What's going on?
Hello, comrade user. Bad news. Game forbidden. I hope you are not too disappointed.
Not again. How do we get out of here?
You are spy?
Okay, this one truly has a Russian accent.
You see? But you're still here.
It seems to be so.
Human you are. Show me papers.
Only if you say please.
Glitch!
There you are. I was looking for you. Stop following us.
We are all going to die.
Shoot the glitch!
With what?
Bonjour, user. I've got some bad news, peu cher. Actually, there is a note de jeu.
It's changed again.
I don't understand what's going on. Things are becoming more and more unstable. It's even raining croissant.
Oh, bonjour, my friends.
You are French spy?
Hello, programs.
We are all going to die.
Stop saying that. We can't die. Possibly we could be erased.
We are all going to be erased.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I feel crash coming on.
Konnichiwa! Game ga arimasen!
Okay, now things are really getting out of control.
And besides, there are black cats. It's a bad sign.
Shoot the crazy cats!
Why won't you just crash game? I've got a busy schedule here. User, I'm begging you! Stop playing hide and seek with him! You're going to get us killed!
I knew it. We are all going to die.
No, you shut up!